Okay, I'm so excited today. A good friend of mine, somebody I've known since I'm like 14, 15 years old. His name is Brian. He owns a restaurant bar in Manhattan called Moran's. If you're ever there, I highly recommend it. Go down, have a good time. He asked me to make a stuffed veal chop. And you'd think I'm in Texas, that there'd be plenty of meat out there available. But it's like I'm a starving man on an island when I go out to the supermarkets over here. I can't find half the ingredients I want. So Brian, unfortunately, the only thing I could find was a thick cut pork chop. So that's what I'm going to make for you. And I was trying to think on how to make it so it wouldn't be mundane. So this morning I was making breakfast, and I was making some breakfast sausage, some sage sausage. And I said, okay, now I know what I'm going to make for Brian. So what we're going to have here today is a thick cut pork chop with sausage sage stuffing, and it's going to be accompanied by some Brussels sprouts, caramelized Brussels sprouts with bacon, and a nice light watercress salad. So it's going to be a beautiful thing. We're going to put it all together. I'm going to first, we're going to season our meat up first, and then put that away in the fridge, let it absorb some of the seasonings. Then we're going to start on the stuffing. So let's get to it. First, what I want to do is get some of these plastic containers, these the throwaway $3, 3 for $3 kind of containers. They're great for marinating meats. So we're going to put together the marinade. I have like 4 cloves of garlic in here. I'm going to take out about 1 and stick it in our marinade section. I've got some sage, fresh sage, fresh parsley, fresh tarragon. I'm going to throw in some fresh thyme and some fresh rosemary. And we're going to put that in there. If you can't find fresh, I tell you, go to the store, and Poultry Seasoning has almost all of these same ingredients. So pick up some poultry seasoning. Lamb, pork loves rosemary. All of those kinds of meats absolutely do phenomenal. I'm just taking off some of the sprigs from the rosemary, and I'm crumbling it up. You don't need a lot. Rosemary is very potent, very powerful. And we're going to take this, and we're going to add to it a little lemon zest. Some of these flavors are going to be carried on through the stuffing so that we have a nice cohesion of everything. I'm going to put in about half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of salt, kosher salt, and some coarse ground pepper, about a half a teaspoon. And then we're going to get some olive oil. And we're going to mix this all together until it makes a nice, beautiful mixture. Just like that. See? I don't know if you can see it, but it looks beautiful. It's the smells that are coming out of here, the sage, the rosemary, the garlic. It's absolutely phenomenal. We're going to grab our pork chops. Now, I'm going to cut them now, so that I'm going to slice it now, so that we can set the pocket for the stuffing. Just take your knife, make a slit, and cut inside the meat until you have a nice pocket that we're going to put our stuff in. You don't want to cut all the way through to the other side. We're only going to stuff it with like a couple of tablespoons, but that's kind of what you want. You want a nice little pocket inside that you can stuff this. And we're going to stick this in our marinade. We're going to stick some in the pocket. Then we're going to flip it over and get it on the other side. And then we're going to do the other chop. Just be careful, use a sharp knife. Nothing's worse than getting cut with a dull knife. Sharp one, at least we can sew you back together easy. Okay. Same thing, we've got our nice pocket. I'm going to fill the pocket with some of the seasoning. Gonna toss that around. I'm gonna let you take a look at this because I gotta tell you, it's not even cooked and it looks beautiful already. Let me just wash my hands off. Yeah, it was real weird how this recipe just popped into my head this morning. Look at these chops already. They're looking absolutely beautiful. And they're not even cooked. Yum. One day I'm going to do lamb, as soon as I can find it, Brian, I'm going to do some rack of lamb or some lamb chops or something like that. I promise you I'll get to that, and I'll also see if I can find some veal. But for now, we make a do with what we got, and this is what we got. So I'm going to seal this up, shake it around a little bit, let those seasonings get in there, and we're going to stick this in the fridge. We're going to start on our stuffing. We're going to put that together, then it's got to cool, and when it's all cooled down, we're going to stuff it into these pork chops. We're going to stick them in the oven. Well, first we're going to grill them a little bit, then stick them in the oven, let them finish in the oven. So let's get on to the stuffing. Let me put these in the fridge. I have here the pan heating up with some of the fat from the sausage that I made. And in that, we're going to start with, now remember, I'm only making 2 chops, so I have a half of an onion here, half of a regular yellow onion. And we're going to heat that up. I'm going a little traditional here, somewhat. This is a 1 rib of celery. Then I'm just putting a fine chop on. And we're going to throw that in, and we're going to let that do its thing with the onion. And we're going to throw in some rosemary and some thyme and our parsley and our garlic, and all these lovely flavors are each going to have their chance in the pan before we hit them with the breads. Beautiful. Let's get this in the pan. Okay. I have a little bit of thyme here. I'm just taking off the sprigs, the leaves. We don't want the stems. And our rosemary. Great herb. Grow it in your backyard. It's a perennial. It comes out every year. I have one at my father's house that's probably a good 3 or 4 feet tall and about 3 or 4 feet around. It's beautiful. And I'm going to chop this up. Oh, once you chop that rosemary and you let out some of those essential oils, wow, the amazing smell that happens. We got a couple of twists in this. I'm going to show you. I didn't want to go with a traditional, boring stuffing, not for Brian. So, I mean, he owns a restaurant, for goodness sake. So, in goes our rosemary and our thyme. Here's our fresh sage, our parsley. In goes our garlic. All this is going to mix together and make a wonderful stuffing. Next is our breakfast sausage, sage. This is one that's very heavy with the sage flavor. Some lemon zest, about a tablespoon. And now for the secret ingredient, pistachio nuts, all chopped up, nice. I'm going to hit that with it's a little dry, so I want to hit it with a little olive oil. Oh, beautiful. The smell, you should smell what's going on here. That rosemary, that sage, the sausage. We're just going to let all these vegetables wilt on down. And let me start preparing our bread. I picked a loaf of Italian bread. I'm not for using breadcrumbs or all that stale stuff. If I can use fresh, I use fresh. This is a sesame seed bread. The sesame seeds will add another dimension here. It's fresh, it's from yesterday. I'm just going to chop it all up. Make enough stuffing for our 2 chops. And I'm just going to dice it up. Sticking it in one of these plastic containers so we can mix it all together once our vegetables are all complete. This is going to be like pork on top of pork on top of pork. It's going to be fabulous. Okay, our vegetables are done. Our vegetables and our pork, I hit it with a couple of pads of butter. I have some chicken stock here that we're going to use. First we're going to mix this in with the bread. The smell, it smells absolutely divine. Brian, you better try this one. Okay, we're going to mix that all in with our bread. And then we're going to moisten it all up with the chicken stock. You can smell absolutely every one of these herbs. You don't want it too gushy, mushy, but you do want everything moist, so put enough stock. So that the bread, yeah, you know what stuffing looks like. You stuffed enough turkeys in your day. I know that was my job. Thanksgiving, my mother would have me mush up all the stuffing. Speaking of my mother, Mom, I gotta do it. I gotta do your trick. I'm gonna throw an egg in here and mix it up. That always makes stuffing stay together and not fall apart. So In goes an egg. Mix it up real well. I tasted it before. I'm going to hit it with a little salt. And a little more pepper. Just a touch. Okay, it's beautiful. Perfect stuffing consistency, you see? Beautiful. We're going to put the top on this. We're going to stick it in the fridge. We're going to let them both sit for a couple hours. When we come back, I'm going to start putting together meat. We're going to prep our Brussels sprouts, and we're going to start to make our salad. So we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, we've got our pork chops that we're marinating. I just took them out of the refrigerator. I have our stuffing here that's also is in the fridge. I'm going to leave that aside for now. We're going to start to get some of the components ready for the Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts, I've been making them for years and years before it was even an in thing to do. They're beautiful little tiny baby heads of cabbage. What I like to do is trim the end off and then cut them in half. Sometimes in quarters, depending on how big they are. But trim the end off, cut them in half. Trim the end off, cut them in half. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to show you a couple other neat little tricks here. For this dish, I'm going to take a couple of slices of bacon, smoked regular American bacon, and I'm going to throw it in a pan. Just a couple. We don't want the bacon to be the star of the show. We just want a little bit of the bacon flavor. So, bacon's cooking. Let me put this away and wash my hands. And what we're going to do at this point, I'm going to give you let's get the Brussels sprouts ready. I'm going to put a little olive oil over the top of them, just to coat them nice and lovely, delicioso. I'm going to take a couple of cubes of cloves of garlic, and I'm going to stick them in there. Actually, I like a lot of garlic, but we're going to put a couple in there. And we're going to mix that around so the oil gets all over the nice, beautiful Brussels sprouts we've got here. And then, while this is nice oiled up and ready, I'm going to hit it with a little bit of salt, a little kosher salt, and a little black pepper. Okay. Now we're ready to set this aside. Take a look how beautiful. They're going to be even better later, but look nice. We're going to set this aside for now and let that hang out until the bacon cooks a little bit, because we're going to take and use that bacon fat. And what I've got here is one of these little tin throwaway containers with some cloves of garlic in it. Now, there's many, many ways to roast garlic. This is a French method that has just come into play recently, and it's called sous vide. It's where you roast things in oil or fat. And in this case, I want to make some garlic sous vide. So I'm going to take and peel the paper off the cloves of the garlic. And we're just going to get all that paper off. And we're going to stick them in this tin. I like to do a lot of these when I do it, because it takes about an hour, but boy is it worth it. Same with roasting garlic. I'm going to show you how to roast garlic too in a little bit. But for now we're going to do this. Get these papers off these garlic. Show you the sous vide garlic. and I'm going to show you how to roast garlic too. Two different methods, both involve slow cooking of garlic to bring out the sweetness of the garlic and not the strong garlic flavor. So here we got, a couple of dozen cloves of garlic in there. I'm going to cover that, completely cover it with olive oil. Don't be shy. We're not doing a little, we're doing the whole thing, we're covering it. Don't worry, because look, I'm out of this olive oil, I'm going to go open another one. I want this covered completely with olive oil. No salt and pepper here, but covered completely, so you can't see the garlic anymore. There, perfect. I'm gonna get you in here so you can. And one sprig of rosemary in there. We're gonna get in here so you can see it. There's the garlic. It's completely submerged in the olive oil, and now with the sprig of rosemary in there. Beautiful. I'm going to throw that in an oven at make 225 for about 45 to 50 minutes. We're going to just put that in there, and we're going to let that oil just slowly bubble and boil until it cooks that garlic. So it's so sweet you could spread it on bread like butter. In it goes. Now, same temperature, different method. This is to make roasted garlic like the Italians make. That's the French method, this is the Italian method. It's all going to eat delicious, but you take a piece of tin foil, aluminum foil, whatever you want to call it, and you take your head of garlic, your whole head, and you take your knife, and I want you to go 3/4 of the way through. I'm going to bring the camera in so you can see. Okay, it's more important you see this than seeing my beautiful face. Take your knife, 3/4 of the way up the clove of garlic, the whole head of garlic. Chop the whole head off. Leave the paper on there, the garlic paper. See, leave the garlic paper on. See how it keeps it completely intact? We're going to put one. I'm going to make 2 of these right now. Because as much as I love roasted garlic, there's only so much roasted garlic you can use. Although, I'll put it on bread, I'll put it on just about anything. And 3/4 of the way up, just cut the whole top of that head off, just like that. So that what you're left with is that exposed garlic like that. Take the ends, throw that in there too. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle this with a little bit of olive oil. Just a touch. We don't want to bathe it. And we want to hit it with just a smidgen of kosher salt. That's it. And just a little bit of pepper. Then we're going to take this and wrap it up like a little purse. Just like that. And I want a little hole here to let the steam escape. And we're going to take this and we're going to throw it in the 225-degree oven, and we're going to check it in about an hour. So in it goes, and we'll be back. Okay, our bacon is done. The bacon fat is still in the pan. Our garlic in the olive oil confit is completed. It's absolutely beautiful. We've taken on a beautiful golden tone. We're going to use that in our salad later on. But let me heat up this pan. We're going to start getting together the Brussels sprouts, and then we're going to get to the pork chops, and we're going to get this meal moving. So, on a medium-high heat, I'm going to heat up the bacon fat, but before I do that, I'm going to stick maybe about a half a cup of water inside there. Now, we've got the bacon fat inside there. We've got a half a cup of water. We've got olive oil in here with our Brussels sprouts, along with our garlic, our salt and pepper. We're going to stick that in the pan. And as the water dissipates, it's going to steam those vegetables. And they're going to become soft and tender and delicious. And then once the water goes away, you're left with that nice olive oil and bacon fat coating. And that's going to start to caramelize these beautiful Brussels sprouts, and it's going to turn into something absolutely amazing. So that's going. In the back here, I've got a hot skillet, cast iron skillet that I've been saving for just you, Brian. And we're going to get together our pork chops and our stuffing. So let me just wash my hands real quick. I'm taking the stuffing out of the fridge. Oh wow, the smells that just came off of this. Just amazing. Let me get us a plate. Okay, we're going to work with our pork chops here. Going to take out the first one, put it over our plate. Don't be shy, use your hands. Reach in, get some stuffing, stuff it into that pork chop. You know, if you want to sew this up, if you want to use toothpicks and do all that stuff, you can. I'm just going to stuff them like this. It's just you and me. Don't be shy with your food. There's one done. And don't you think I'm not going to use this oil for something. I'm going to make either a aioli, which will be beautifully seasoned with the rosemary and the parsley and everything, but it'll get to use. This beautiful stuffing is going into our pork chops. We've got a beautiful pocket here that we're just stuffing this all in. Absolutely wonderful. Here we have our nice two beautiful stuffed pork chops. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit these on the cast iron skillet for about 3 minutes per side. And then we're going to leave them in the cast iron skillet and put them in the 350 degree oven and let them finish off there for about 7 minutes. Because we want our pork to be like 135 degrees, 28 to 35 degrees. The days of dry pork chops are long gone. We know a lot more about pork nowadays and how we can cook it. So that's what we're going to do. I've got my pan heating up here. It's got a little bit of bacon fat that I reserved from the bacon. I shared some with the Brussels sprouts. Let me get you in here so you can take a look at these chops as they're stuffed. There's our beautiful stuffed chops ready to hit the fire. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So our pan's heating up back there. And we'll be right back. Okay, our pan's nice and hot. Our Brussels sprouts the water's starting to boil. So that's making those Brussels sprouts nice and tender. Eventually we're going to chop up this bacon right here and throw it back in with the Brussels sprouts. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to hit these pans in the back with our pork chops. Our beautiful stuffed pork chops. Oh my goodness, do you hear that? Do you see this? I hope you can absolutely see this. It's phenomenal. Okay. We're going to give them a couple of minutes on each side. Let them develop a nice golden color. And then we're going to flip them over, and we're going to put them in the oven and let them bake off for about 7 to 10 minutes. And that should be plenty. They should hit their internal temperature between 128 and 135. You don't want to take pork any further than that. After that, it's dry. Make shoes out of it. Get rid of it. Something, but don't eat it. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks. Our pork chops are grilling away. They're absolutely beautiful. Look at that. I already flipped them. I'm getting ready to, it's got a nice little color on one side. We're going to throw them in the oven and let them finish off in there. Our Brussels sprouts are taking on a beautiful green color. They're absolutely phenomenal looking. We're going to get back to them in a minute. Okay, our water has all dissipated out of our Brussels sprouts. Now you can hear them sizzling. It's just happening now. They're cooked through because of the water. They're going to get that nice caramelization. At this point, I don't know if you can see this, I'm going to chop up the bacon. That garlic is in there. And they're going to start to take on a beautiful brown caramelized color. I'm slicing up this bacon to put back in there. Wow, that smell. Oh, absolutely amazing. Hey, get out. Guys are back in the pool. We're going to let them caramelize. I'm going to give a pat of butter in there. Only because butter's a different kind of fat. And it makes things take on a nice caramelized color. Look at that. Absolutely phenomenal. Our Brussels sprouts are done. They look absolutely fabulous. Our pork chops have about 9 minutes left. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make some supremes of orange to go in our salad, our frisee salad. Just cut off the two ends, then trim around the orange until you see no more white, but just orange. There we go. It'll tell you where it needs to be cut. Just like that. And then once you have all of the rind gone and that pith gone, you take it over a bowl and you cut where you see the white lines. So where the white lines of the segments are, and you take that whole segment out and it goes in your bowl. And out it comes. And there we have, these are supremes of orange. Absolutely beautiful, very juicy, with none of the extra pieces that aren't desirable when you eat an orange. All that extra juice is going in this bowl from the orange. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Let me wash my hands. Whenever I have something rich like these pork chops that we've got going on here, I always like to have something a little bright. So in this case, we're going to do away with a starch, and we're gonna have salad instead. So we got our orange segments here. I'm gonna take one shallot and I'm gonna thinly slice it. Into rounds. You don't have to dice it up or anything like that. Just nice little rounds will do. We're only doing about a half a shallot here. I'm going to spread those in there. And then we're going to mix in some of our cone feed garlic that we made earlier. A couple of cloves, 3-4 cloves, along with a little bit of olive oil that they confit in. We're going to put in, this is a baby spring mix. So there's arugula, there's chervil, there's watercress, and we're just going to mix that all in there until it's nice and coated. I'm going to add a touch of champagne vinegar. I'm going to add some chopped parsley, and just for a little texture, I'm going to add some chopped up walnuts. If it's coating real nice, then you don't have to add more olive oil. If you think you need to, add a little more olive oil. But there, our salad's done. I'm going to put that to the side, and we're going to start to plate this up. Okay, there you have it, folks. There's our Brussels sprouts, our salad with the orange segments, and our stuffed pork chop. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. What a beautiful meal. And now we're going to get to my favorite portion of the program, where I get to give this a taste. So, we've got our light, beautiful salad. We've got our Brussels sprouts. I gotta taste this stuffing in this pork chop here. With the sausage stuffing. Wow, drop your knife, eat. I mean, oh my goodness, this is fabulous. Brian, you better try this, I swear. This is a lot of work. But oh my goodness, well worth it. Look at that, look at the pork, it cuts like butter, I gotta tell you. The flavor from that rosemary and the sage. This is a little rich, so that's why you have this nice bright citrus salad to help cut that fat a little bit. It's phenomenal. The Brussels sprouts with the garlic, look at these. Look how caramelized they are. They're absolutely phenomenal. You're gonna love this dish. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna eat this. And I don't have time to do that at this moment. I'll be back. I hope you learned something. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. I know I'm in the middle of eating this, but I gotta show you how absolutely juicy this pork is. It's just phenomenal. It's coming right off the bone and it's just mouth-watering. You've gotta try this. Thanks. There you have it. Brussels sprouts with bacon and garlic, a stuffed pork chop with sausage stuffing, and a citrus salad with spring greens, parsley, orange, and walnut. Do hope you try it.